Hello, I'm lesbian fiction author Kiki Archer and today is National Coming Out Day. Now, I've never made a coming out video before because it's very easy to be that happy, laughing lady who's an out lesbian, everything's great and everything's fine, which it is now. I think I've just been a bit nervous of doing a coming out video, and I've always said no before because I'm not very good with my emotions actually, and in a way I guess I didn't want to open old wounds, but then National Coming Out Day is all about trying to give people the confidence to be brave and come out. So I thought, well, you can be brave, and well, actually I've chosen to film this in my closet. So yeah, I thought you could be brave and get in your closet, film your coming out story. So we're in my closet. Nothing is scripted. Usually my vlogs I do script. They aren't off the cuff jokes, but nothing scripted. I'm not quite sure the direction I'll take, but I've been told just to tell my story. So yeah, I'll just tell you a bit about what happened. Basically, I grew up in a very Christian home, lots of church, Sunday schools, choirs, lots and lots of church. My mum was a secondary school RE teacher. She taught at the school that I went to. She taught me GCSE and A-level RE, which obviously was cringe enough. As you can imagine, my dad also taught at my school, and he was the deputy head. And because he taught PE, he was the one roped into doing the PSHE lesson, so he did in fact teach me sex education. So it was awful. My parents were never, they're not homophobic. You know, I think I was aware of the odd thing I picked up on when I started to realise that I might be a lesbian. I did notice a few things, but no, they were typical of their generation. But anyone who did do GCSE RE, remember the projects we had to choose from. We had like the choice of you could do war, or abortion, or homosexuality, because these were all very tricky topics. But yeah, no, I had a good childhood. I had a nice childhood, and I had lots of boyfriends because I think I did think I was straight at that time. It didn't maybe because of the tiny village that I grew up in, or I don't know. It didn't really cross my mind genuinely until I went to university and I was in the netball team, and most of the netballers were tall, mostly blonde, with boyfriends, and then I saw the rugby team and the hockey team, the ladies rugby and hockey, and they all seemed to have girlfriends, and yeah, and I was just a little bit too intrigued, I think, by it, and I saw girls kissing for the first time, and yeah, and you know what university's like, it was always going to happen. It does happen for a lot of people, and that's great. I think it's good now that we can live in a society where people can be fluid, and there's no big discussion about it, there's no big drama of, oh my goodness, I've just kissed a girl, and that's good. But for some people, they will kiss that girl, and for me, I knew then, in that instant, that was me. And in that instant, you then think, this can't be me, because I'd had boyfriends in the past, and I did try really hard, and I did really like them, but there was something missing, and it wasn't until I did kiss that first girl I thought, oh my goodness, this is it, and it made perfect sense to me, but I just knew that it couldn't be me. I could not be this person, and I went to university quite a way away from home, and so there was a bit of safety of knowing that you could experiment and you could, and it probably wouldn't get back. And I think it's easy with new people to just announce, so university, oh yeah, I'm a lesbian, oh cool, great, and it's fine, and they're new people and they accept you for who you are. And it's the thought of then telling the people who actually had known you or thought they had known you, for your whole life. And anyway, I had absolutely no intention ever of telling my parents or my friends from home or my family, because maybe I did think it was something that would go away, and I did try and make it go away, and I sort of went from a girlfriend to, no, I can't do this, and I had a boyfriend, and then, oh, but you get pulled back into a girlfriend, and yeah, and I was 21, and it was the night before my 22nd birthday, and I was at home, and my parents had been out for a meal or something, and I've got an older sister and a younger brother, and we were sat in my parents' lounge, and there was a lovely log fire burning, and everyone was chatting about, yeah, my sister was chatting about her new job, and my brother was talking about he'd started university, and I just remember sitting there, and I had nothing to say, because everything I was doing, I had been doing with this girl, and I had nothing to say, and I was just sitting there, and I felt so alone. I just felt alone, and you just feel surrounded by people who just don't know you, and that's not their fault. And anyway, I just started to cry, and and I start, and I had no clue why, and they're all sitting there, and obviously, you had a lovely evening, and it's my birthday, and everyone's chatting, and I started to cry, and I couldn't stop, and I just thought, don't you do this, don't do this, and I don't know what it was, because I had no intention whatsoever of saying anything, ever. And I was really quite upset, and anyone who has read my first book would know the scene where Freya comes out. That was a lot like what happened to me. My dad came down, he knelt on the floor, and he held my knee, and he offered some suggestions of what might be wrong, because I wasn't saying anything, I was just crying. And yeah, and I don't know if pregnancy maybe was suggested, or things were suggested, and then I never used the words, I wasn't confident to use the words, and I think it was suggested if I was seeing somebody, and I sort of nodded and said it was a girl, and I just knew in that instant just everything about who they hoped I was, or hoped I would be. I felt, and I might be wrong here, and they'll probably say I'm wrong, but I felt I just destroyed that. I'd taken all that away, and I know coming out video is meant to give encouragement, but coming out can be hard for some people, and it was tough. It was very tough. My brother wrote a very strongly worded letter to me asking how I could dare do this at the time my grandma was ill, and how thoughtless it was. And they were by no means as horrific. They were by no means horrific, but I felt it was a case of, the questions weren't about, what are you happy? Is this you? It was about, well, who knows? Do you hold hands at university? And it felt to me like what this might mean for them. And yeah, and it's something that it destroyed in that instant. I think I destroyed any sort of relationship I had with my parents. I think that that destroyed it, and whether that was my fault then, it could well have been, because I don't think they really wanted to talk about it. I don't think I really wanted to talk about it. I just knew just that it wasn't right, and so I scuttled back to university, and I got a boyfriend, because I thought that would make everything right. And I thought, no, I think because I wanted to make them happy, and so I got a boyfriend who was lovely, and I tried really hard this time again. And I brought him home for Christmas. That Christmas, nothing was ever discussed since the night before my birthday, ever. And I just randomly brought then this boyfriend home. And he came for Christmas, and again it was great because my sister had her boyfriend and my brother had his girlfriend, and great, I've got my boyfriend. And genuinely, I remember Christmas Eve, and I was lying in bed, and he had his arm on my shoulder, and I was facing away, and I was crying into my pillow. Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But I was crying, and he didn't know, and no one downstairs knew. But I knew, and I was crying because I couldn't do it. I couldn't come out. Yeah, I couldn't be the person I thought people wanted me to be, and it was a really, you're trying to get your degree as well and deal with the university, but it was a really difficult time. There's you question this. It sounds simple. Come out, be true to who you are. It sounds simple, but when you're living it at that time, and actually I had nobody to talk to, because I'd never met a lesbian person. I'd never met a gay person. I didn't, until I saw those footballers and rugby players kissing, I didn't know. And I think I had no one to talk to, and I felt very, alone, and you're confused. You're so confused. Deep down, I knew I was gay. I knew. So it wasn't a confusion about my sexuality. And I think people confuse that confusion. They sometimes think, you're not confused. You know deep down your preference. But it was confusion about, well, whose life am I living? And my boyfriend, he got a house and he asked me to move in, and I could have done. But I think, I stepped away from my family and my school friends. I still have never officially come out to. You step away into sort of the area where you feel accepted, and like I say, it's the new people, it's the new friends at university. I then became a secondary school PE teacher, stereotypical, but I did, and I was an out teacher, and the kids were fine. Miss, have you got a boyfriend? No. You got a girlfriend? Yeah. Oh, cool. It's that simple for kids, and staff were fine, and so you then move away from probably the people who do matter the most. You move away, and surround yourself with the people who know what to you feels like the real you, but to anyone looking in thinks, I've known you 20 years, that's not you. But it is you, and that's the real you. And so you have that safety, and that is a good thing, because if anyone does have a horrific coming out, mine wasn't horrific, I don't want to dramatise anything, it was okay. But anyone who does, you have got that network and that safety of all these people. This community is so accepting and so wonderful, and there are events and gatherings and always people to talk to. So you have always got that. But I think deep down, you do want acceptance from those that do matter the most. And still, it's still a battle. It's still a battle to be seen for who you are, just, accepted, that it's not wrong. That's the thing, and it's getting yourself to a point where you genuinely believe you were born this way, and that there's not something wrong with you. You shouldn't be ashamed. You're not a letdown. That actually people should be proud that you can stand up and say, I'm born this way. And it is. I don't know why sexuality has always had such a huge focus on it. It is just a preference. It's, I like playing sport. I've got different tastes in clothes. I have a taste in women, if that makes sense. It's just a preference. And things are getting better. Like they say, it does get better. Things are getting better. I think it's much more accepted now, but still, all the feelings that I had of coming out to family, that's probably still the same. That's not got easier. Families might be more accepting now, but yeah, it is hard, but it does get easier, and it is worth it, because now, you know, I can be that happy, laughing lady who is, I will shout that I'm a lesbian. I'm very proud of it. There is nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with me, and I genuinely am saying that. Probably only quite recently, obviously a few years, I feel confident saying that because of the support of the community and the people around me, and yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay, surprisingly, and yeah, we just have to teach people to be kind and be accepting. You know, who knows the right and wrong way? Really, who does? Nobody does. So yeah, please just be kind, be accepting, and don't judge, because it's the judgments, I think, that hurt the most, because everybody messes up, everybody makes mistakes, but then what I did wasn't a mistake. It wasn't, did I mess up? Don't be made to feel like you've done something wrong, because you haven't. You are coming out and being true to who you are, and there is nothing wrong with that. There's everything right with that, so be proud of that. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I got through it. So here's my closet, and I'm going to get out of my closet now. So yes, I am lesbian fiction author Kiki Archer. Thank you very much for listening. Sorry if it was a bit waffly and rambling, but we got there. That was my coming out story. Okay, if you do want to talk or chat about anything, please, as always, drop me a line. Okay, bye.